This is McBay, and welcome to another episode of Figures 101. So, what I have here is my setup for my first round entry for the 2016 Photo Kombat Challenge, sponsored by ACBA. I did this last year as well, and got as far as top 8. And so, anyway, I just want to share my setup for this round of the competition. And for this first round, the theme will be friendship. So anything that captures like like a friendship scene or something like that will be a good play for this. And in my case, I decided to pick Iron Fist and Luke Cage because in the comics they were actually kind of like buddies. And so for my take on this one is basically it's friendship through fighting. So it's almost like they're having like a competition on who would get the most beat ups from the bad guys in this scene right here. So as you can see, they're kind of like in the middle of a fighting scene where Iron Fist busts out his iron kick, flaming kick type moves, and basically kind of like wiped out pretty much everybody around his vicinity, as you can see right here. And so he's kind of like in a mid-air spinning kick type position. And then for Luke Cage, he's basically fighting, bare fisted, basically, which is kind of like his main thing. He fights kind of like a brawl style. So, you could kind of see at the back, he kind of knocked down like a couple of the Hydra soldiers over there already. And this one right here is kind of like, he punched this guy and it's kind of like flying away from him. You could kind of see, my tricks and stuff on how I, pull this off. Like for example, this guy right here, you could see that I have this stand right here that's holding him. But when I take my photo, I'll try to crop that as much as possible so you didn't see that part, and you could kind of have like the illusion of him actually flying out. Kind of like the same thing for for Iron Fist right there. He's actually held up by, you could kind of see right there. If I go to this angle, you could kind of see that little like a rod. See, that's propping him up in that position, and that fire effect right there is kind of like hiding that, and which will give you the illusion of him kind of like doing spinning kick mid-air. And then for the rest of the the goons, that guy is basically just just balanced him from that railing in there. So nothing special in terms of wires or anything like that. That one's just balancing it there. And then this guy that got thrown off to the pillar again is just posing, and then gravity kind of like he's leaning a little bit on that pillar. And then the rest are basically just posing, and as much as possible when you do posing, the key there is try to make it look as normal as possible, that you can achieve from these action figures. You know, I mean, obviously you won't be able to do the most natural position, or like, you know, as in real life on these figures, but if you can get as close as you can get, then you could kind of sell the idea of the scene that you're trying to do, rather than just, you know, post them, you know, half done, and you know, kind of like this one right here. That one is a pretty, I mean, in my standard, that's a pretty cool, um, kind of like laying down position, you know, someone that's been unconscious. So that's pretty cool. And then this one, the same thing, unconscious, but he end up kind of like falling down and then leaning on the pillar. So, you know, something like that. You know, the same thing in the back right there, pretty similar. Another one guy in there at the back. So, you know, that's kind of like the idea when you do, you know, figure posing. And you know, I'm gonna give you a little bit of like the backgrounds that I have in here as to how, you know, lighting and stuff. So like I said, this one is being held up with that. I actually have a light in here to just kind of like illuminating this part right here. So like when I take pictures, the bubble sign or the cutout will kind of show, you know, with proper lighting, because it's kind of hard to see something like that small written if it's not illuminated correctly. So, you know, something like that, little things like that. And then basically my background is just color paper that I, you know, attach to a board at the back and just prop it up. And then, you know, I illuminate that with a couple of small compact LEDs, kind of like converging almost in the middle of that, and that will pop up the color of these. So like when you take pictures, you know, the color will be a little more what do you call it, subdued, by adding those paper towels, you know. And then, you know, and then smaller, you know, lights like that I use to just kind of like in this case, I'm trying to add a little bit of illumination on the fire effect, so we'll have that glistening look. Oops, for look cage, I actually have that. It's actually falling off now, but you can kind of see it's being propped up by a little wire that I have, and I basically just used tape at the back to prop it. And then for this one right here, these are all just attached by, I'm using this tacky, kind of like, they call it tacky, like this one right here, simply tacky. And it's like rubberish clay type material. And I just put a little bit of that and attach it there. And then the same thing for those cutouts that I used to attach those. Like that one is directly attached to the knee of that figure, and that one is attached at the pillar. And this one, the whoosh cutout is actually attached to that lightning effect. But you know, when you take a pictures, you know, kind of like this one right here, it kind of gives the illusion that those are almost just, you know, floating, or like comic style photo. And yeah, so like, yeah, I don't know, I have another light right here just to add additional lighting with Iron Fist and the rest of the group over there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, you know, hopefully I advance to the second round so I can share more setup. All right, so thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.